Entry number 3. The Last Ferry, based on a personal experience by Torres from PH. Hi, I noticed your channel is fairly new, and I wanted to contribute. This happened during a research trip 3 years ago. I haven't told many people about it, but your channel seems like the right place for this story. I never intended to stay overnight on the island. The small landmass wasn't even on most maps. It's just a forgotten dot in the Philippine archipelago with a single fishing village abandoned decades ago. As a cultural anthropology student, I had planned a day trip. Morning ferry in, document the village, evening ferry out. I think the local boatman who took me seemed hesitant about my destination. He crossed himself before accepting payment, warning me the last ferry would depart at 4:30 p.m. sharp. Do not miss it, he said in mixed English and Tagalog. No one stays on that island after dark. Not since 1987. From the wooden dock, I could see the entire village, about 30 structures around a central plaza with the jungle behind them. Most were simple homes on stilts, now weathered and overgrown. A community hall stood at the plaza's edge, and a small stone church with a bell tower dominated the far end. The village had been abandoned in a hurry. Cooking pots still sat on cold stoves. Clothes hung from lines, bleached by decades of sun. Personal belongings remained in homes. Photos, letters, toys, as if everyone had simply vanished midday. Official records claimed a typhoon evacuation in 1987 led to the abandonment, but that didn't explain why no one returned, or why neighboring islands spoke of this place in hushed tones. By mid-afternoon, I reached the church. Inside, rows of wooden pews faced an altar with withered flowers that had somehow never completely decayed. Religious statues lined the walls, their painted eyes seeming to follow me. Everything was dust-covered, except, strangely, the church bell rope, which hung clean and seemingly well-used. At the back, I found a logbook, the final entry, dated October 17th, 1987, read only, "They're coming from the jungle. God, forgive us for what we awakened." I lost track of time when I checked my watch. It was 4:20 p.m., 10 minutes to reach the dock a quarter mile away. I ran, but arrived just in time to see the ferry pulling away. My phone showed no signal. I was stranded until morning. I chose the community hall for shelter. As twilight deepened, I noticed the jungle had fallen completely silent. No insects, no birds, nothing. Then I heard it, the church bell, a single, clear toll, echoing across the village. I grabbed my flashlight and stepped outside. The bell continued its measured toll as I approached the church. When I reached the plaza, the bell stopped. In the silence, I heard voices coming from the jungle edge. My flashlight beam illuminated nothing but foliage. Yet the voices continued, speaking in rapid Tagalog. Then I saw movement, shadows detaching from shadows. They emerged slowly, figures walking from the jungle into the moonlit plaza. Men, women, children, dozens of them. Their clothing was decades out of style. They moved in perfect unison, faces expressionless. Though solid enough to cast shadows, they were partially transparent, and they were wrong somehow. Proportions slightly off, movements too fluid. One figure, a young girl, turned as she passed. Huh? Her eyes were completely black, without whites or pupils. She smiled, revealing too many sharp teeth, then resumed her forward gaze. The procession entered the church. Once all were seated, the bell tolled once more. A new figure appeared at the altar, taller than the others, wearing tattered priestly robes. Its face remained in shadow. It raised its arms, and the congregation responded with a sound like singing without breath. Voices from everywhere and nowhere. Then silence fell. The figure spoke a single phrase in an unknown language. The congregation rose and turned, all facing toward me. The girl who had noticed me pointed at my hiding place. Every head turned in my direction. I ran toward the dock. Behind me, I heard them following in perfect rhythm. At the dock, I had nowhere to go. Then I heard a boat engine approaching. small fishing boat appeared, an old man at the helm, gesturing urgently for me to jump aboard. As we pulled away, the procession stood at the water's edge, watching with black eyes reflecting the moonlight. The boatman explained he had been the village's last ferry operator before the incident. In 1987, the village priest found something in the jungle. Something old, something buried, he told me. Some things should stay buried. When we reached the mainland, he refused payment. Just promise you won't return, he said. They're still looking for new voices to join their choir. I've kept that promise. Sometimes at night, I still hear that strange, breathless singing in my dreams. And occasionally, when church bells ring, I find myself counting the tolls, dreading the moment they might establish that same measured rhythm I heard on that forgotten island. The photos I took never developed properly, except one. The church interior shows the pews filled with seated figures, their eyes reflecting the flash as dozens of white pinpoints in the darkness. Entry closed. But echoes remain.